Hello everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to this LUTI set. We are in week 1. This is going to be a Division 2 matchup. It is I, Mad Gamer II, and I am joined by the one and only Zari.
Hello everyone! Welcome! We're super hyped to see, to find out what we're going to see in this matchup here. We've got it's going to be a best of 9, first to 5 set between... No, I will just say, I'm not the best at pronouncing things, but Cacahuetes? I hope I've got that right, versus Big Monkey Man. That one's a bit easier. But yes, we are very interested to get into this and see what both teams have to offer here, especially since it's a Div 2 set. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Indeed. There's been a lot of LUTI matches going on the past week or so. Quite the matchups we've had and we've seen here on Dapple Productions. But I'm definitely excited to be seeing this. I haven't seen a Div 2 or even anything this high in quite a while.
Yes. So yet again, who knows what we're actually going to see out of these players today. And I do believe we can get into talking about the maps we're going to be seeing. So as far as I'm aware, I think we start with Rainmaker Mincemeat? Yes, Rainmaker Mincemeat Metalworks will be where we're beginning this set, which is an interesting place to start, but you know how it be. We'll see where this is going.
Quite so. We have pretty much all the modes in play today. It is a best of 9, so whoever can get to the 5 wins will be taking this set.
And as per usual, always, as casters, we always hope to see as many games as possible. So who knows if we're going to get to a game 9. Would love to, but we're going to have to see as we're getting into this first match here. This is yet again Cacahuetes, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, versus Big Monkey Man on Rainmaker Mincemeat Metalworks.
Looks like both teams are going for a very similar strategy here.
Yeah, very much so. You gotta see that, like, the splashes are always there, but actually no sloshing machines. And 2 snipers. There.
Yeah, sniper on both sides, but then we do have that double splash with the splatter shot versus the junior bucket on the other side. And that's the new bucket, the deco as well.
Yes, indeed. And not surprising to see the likes of that junior coming out on this side of Cacahuetes. It's very much a good support weapon to have. But already we've got 3v3. Oh, that's 2 down for Big Monkey Man. They're going to have to be careful that Cacahuetes can't get too good of a push off of this, but you never know. There's that vacuum coming out.
Oh, wow. The collat with the Inkzuka right there, just stopping the Rainmaker in its tracks, bringing it down to 1 member remaining. So that's going to be the end of that push real quick.
Yes, indeed. And it is looking like Cacahuetes is going to lose mid there, or at least for a little while, and make getting anywhere near that Rainmaker very, very difficult. But Big Monkey Man still going to have to get some points on the board here. 83 is not a lead you win with, but you still don't want to not have a lead. So they're using that crab there and the shot to try and pick someone off, but doesn't seem like they're quite able to get the pick they wanted, and instead lose the splash in that. And the junior, this is not looking good yet again. Cacahuetes got the Rainmaker there, are already pushing, trying to get to that checkpoint, but not quite able to, and almost gets wiped for it.
This map is difficult to push forward unless you have the man advantage, just because you have that just the one opening through middle. We saw the torpedoes and the blind markers just getting thrown out by Cacahuetes there, and I think they are just on a rampage right now. They're still in possession of the Rainmaker, and they're not looking like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon.
Yes, indeed. Big Monkey Man really need to get out of their spawn and take that Rainmaker away, because now that it's past the checkpoint, there is very little that would slow Cacahuetes 27 for that. That might do it. That's a wipe. No, Big Monkey Man really need to get some good use out of this. Sadly, they weren't able to grab that Rainmaker while it was unpopped, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be able to get a push out of this. They need to be careful, and that's already the sniper down on the side of Cacahuetes. So that will help them, and with that vacuum, they can get it to checkpoint. But are they going to be able to get it further and get that lead they need? They don't need to get it very far, and they are able to take the lead and push it to 50.
Getting the splat on that charger was huge, because that was pretty much the only thing that could test it when that ink vat got popped. And so with only the 3 shooters remaining, they were able to take it to the checkpoint and then get the lead off that as well. That being said, though, it isn't quite a huge lead just yet, so Cacahuetes has a good chance of bringing it back. Unfortunately, there's just a whole lot of pressure coming out from the specials that Big Monkey is throwing at them.
Yes, indeed. They are certainly trying to make this as difficult as possible. Yet again, 50 is not really a winning lead there. Like, you can definitely win with it, but it's highly unlikely. So they do really need to keep that Rainmaker in mid as much as possible, or get a push of their own to be certain that they can keep that lead. But already 1 down on each side, fighting over mid. It's very much all to play for. But it is within the last minute here. They are going to have to be, both teams going to have to be very careful. And are we going to see who's going to get the final push? It's looking like it might be Big Monkey Man, but who knows?
Well, props to Big Monkey Man. Pretty much every single time that Cacahuetes tried to push there, they would have a crab tank on that right side and basically force them to go left. And when you have that grate to walk over, you're just a sit and duck, and so the charger was able to just stop them right there. I think that it was give them a good spot to defend from. We do have the 20 seconds remaining. They have the lead, so all they got to do is they got to pop their specials. When you see both the crab and the vacuum coming out, but the vacuum goes down to the crab, and already the other crab is popped.
Ooh, currently it's sitting on, I think there's only one anywhere near far enough to stop this, and yeah, that would not have been lead, so that does look like Big Monkey Man are gonna take the first game of the set. That's a very, very nice snipe there coming out from them. And really not much at the end there that Cacahuetes could have done to stop that, other than maybe having a vacuum of their own. That sniper was sitting there in prime position to make their life a bit more difficult. But yes, that is the first game going to Big Monkey Man. But that was very close. Neither team got, I think, below 50, which on Rainmaker is not what you see too much. And again, this is Div 2. This is already feeling like it.
Yeah, it is unusual to see Rainmaker get such not get the point down so low. I think that also comes down to the Mincemeat map. It was hard to really find an opening when both teams had actually a good presence of mind to stay alive, at least have a couple of members online. Speaking of which, like that Charger, the last one remaining in the clutch play, they got taken down just as they shot the Rainmaker, so it was, as you said, down to the wire.
Oh, very, very much so. That was... it was all on that Charger, and they did not disappoint. That is for sure. But yes, we will now be moving on to the second match of the set, which is Splat Zone's MakoMart. Very nice map mode combination. It is the kind of map mode where, as with MakoMart being so small as a map, that you can end up with people in your base, keeping you away from the Splat Zones a lot more. But also, it can be quite contestable. If you keep the fight in mid, then it's anyone's game. So it'll be interesting to see what both teams, what they both decide to run on this, because I'd still imagine some crab tanks.
Absolutely, and I imagine we're not going to be seeing a KO just from what we saw in the last one. Both the teams are playing exceptionally well, and with the way that zones tends to work, you see a lot of going back and forth, especially for MakoMart. And like, unless one of these teams slips up and gets completely wiped, I'd say it's going to be another close contested game.
Yes, indeed. And they are keeping very similar comps here from the last round. The main difference being the E-leaders, but yet again, both Chargers playing E-leaders. So already Big Monkey Man taking the early lead, trying to keep Cacahuetes out of the zone for as long as possible. But with the death of that splash, it might change. The zone might just flip, but they need to get a couple more people in the mid to be able to keep it that way. And there we go. Already with a push down to 64 there. That is a very good start from Big Monkey Man. Are they going to be able to keep it?
We did see the Ink Strike come out, and that was what turned the tides, but Big Monkey survived and almost immediately contested the zone, and we already see it getting flipped back without the lead getting taken. Two members of Cacahuetes down, a third member going down. This is going to be a chance for Big Monkey Man to just start getting some more points on the board, and they are slowly increasing that lead.
Yeah, yes, indeed. They're now through those penalties because Cacahuetes didn't give them very much of one. But are they going to be able to get much further? It looks like, and there we go. Cacahuetes is able to bring it back over to their side and work through those penalty points. But are they going to be able to get much more than that? It does not look likely. Already two people down for Cacahuetes. They're not. That would be the third. They're not going to be able to do much more with that zone just quite yet. It does seem like they're just not quite able to find their footing here on this map. They're not able to get into mid. This Charger is keeping them back, and even when they have that moment where they get the zone, they're not able to keep it.
Having the bucket on hand for that Ink Strike is certainly helpful for zones, but with the amount of pressure that the double splash has been putting on Cacahuetes, like I said, they just haven't been able to get a firm footing between the crab tanks and just the aggression of the main weapon. They're just all over them, and they're doing a good job of staggering their specials, so they almost always have something powerful, long range, gutting them down.
Yes, indeed. we've been seeing a lot of alternative fire from the crab tanks as well, just to keep the chargers out of position. But that is 2 down on the side of Big Monkey Man. I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to stay in mid. But they are able to take 2 down with them, so it does seem like it's still, yeah, they are back in their spawn. I'm gonna have to work on getting their way back in there.
Yeah, some nice plays for the splash here.
Very nice plays from the splash, and keeping everyone on their toes there, and yet again back in their spawn.
We do see them, they are through their penalty, and they're slowly making their way towards that lead. Only they've gone down below 50, almost to 40 now. If Big Man if they're able to keep Big Monkey Man out right here, they could take the lead, and they do indeed do that. They do lose a member, and Big Man is coming in hard and fast, but that is going to be the lead already down to 20, and with a minute remaining, you know, that could be just what they needed to take this game.
Yes, it could. But they do need to be careful with this, because already there wasn't a very big penalty on Big Monkey Man, and so they're almost down to their to working away at the points now. And if Cacahuetes lose the lead here, they have a massive penalty in comparison to work through before they can actually get to those points. And with it being less than a minute left, they need to be careful here. They need to get that zone. But it does not look like they're going to be able to. This is not looking good. They need to get that zone. They need to be working on those penalty points, because Big Monkey Man they don't seem very inclined to give them much room to move.
Quite so. Down to the last 30 seconds. This is the point where Cacahuetes can't afford to get wiped here. If they can stay alive and keep doing essentially what Big Monkey Man has been doing to them, stagger their specials enough to keep the pressure up and then stay alive to get the picks, they can certainly bring this back. But Big Monkey Man, they're coming in hard. They have several specials online, and they do flip the zone. A full wipe right there, and that's going to be Big Monkey Man taking the second game.
Yes, indeed. It looked like it was possible they could keep it there at the end. But, yet again, just a full push from Big Monkey Man, and once that zone started getting flipped and once people started dying, they just didn't have the ability there, Cacahuetes, that is, to keep a hold of it. And that will be game 2 to Big Monkey Man. So... It went essentially how I would imagine it went. Neither team was able to really get it down to the KO. They brought it all the way up to overtime, but Big Monkey Man, they held on to that zone for a good deal of that match. And I think if Cacahuetes had a little bit more time, they could probably have brought that back, as they did start to get some of their bearings during the second half of that match. But unfortunately, by then it was too late, and Big Monkey Man closed it out. Yes, indeed. And yeah, that was a different match than the first one, I think. Like, there was still a lot of back and forth there, but it did definitely seem to be in Big Monkey Man's favor. So it'll be interesting to see if, yet again, if we go back to a more chaotic mode, if that swings in either team's direction again, or if Big Monkey Man continues on their snowballing towards the 5th game. So we will see what Cacahuetes can bring to the table for Clams on Scorch Gorge. So
yeah, Clambless tends to be the deciding factor of whether they have a more flexible charger and swap off of it. It looks like Cacahuetes are choosing not to, but Big Monkey Man are opting for the Flingza roller instead of that backline. With both Clams and Rainmaker, you tend to see this, especially lightly, where you'll have pretty much a backline-less comp just to have the extra mobility. I think with how large this map is, this might play into Big Monkey Man's favor.
Yes, indeed. And obviously, the missile spam isn't going to go amiss whenever you're playing against the charger. It definitely will keep them out of position and will continually be annoying. So already they're just fighting over mid, trying to find enough clams and an opening to get towards those the basket without putting themselves too much in risk or in too much risk here. But already there's been 1 or 2 down on each side. But it does seem like Cacahuetes is trying to get this push going. They don't have. There we go. There's that power clam. But are they going to be able to add more to that push, or will it just be 80 points?
One power clam ain't bad. You do ideally want to get another one in just so the other team can't take the lead, which is the power clam and the regular clam. However, Cacahuetes getting the early push right there has been a lot different than what we've seen in the other two matches. It looks like we found something that was in their comfort zone. They're doing an excellent job of just keeping control on mid. Unfortunately, we do see the 2 members go down, and so now Big Monkey Man is going to be moving into mid and setting up a push of their own here.
Yes, indeed. And yet again, this is because they didn't have to make this power clam, and can very easily, if they put 1 more clam in, they've already got lead. Yet again, not an amazing lead, but you got to start somewhere. And that will be 3 people down on the side of Big Monkey Man, so that will be the end of the push. But they do have lead technically right now. Cacahuetes is gonna have to find their way back over to the basket and see if they can get some more clams in themselves. They do have mid, which is helpful, but they do have to be careful that they don't go down on this.
Yeah, that's always the trade-off when you're with Clam Blitz. You know, if you can get the basket open, that's great. You can get some points on the board. But at the same time, you're essentially giving up a power clam to the enemy team. So you want to offset that by getting more clams than they could get with that 1 power clam. And right now, Cacahuetes, they only need another power clam to get that lead back, even if it is only by 1 point. And here it is, the basket's open with the lead, but unfortunately they lost 3 of their members in the process, and the last E leader is going to be backing up.
Yes, indeed. And that will make it quite easy for Big Monkey Man to try and make this comeback push. But already 1 is down on their side. They're able to equalize it out, but immediately another person goes down. So it does not look like they're quite in position to actually make that play and that push. They are fighting over mid here, but yet again, still being careful as to not overextend without teammates, and keeping in mind where the other team is trying to get to.
As Big Monkey Man, they have the 1 power clam, but neither team really has a substantial amount of clams right now, so it is just kind of a poking maneuver now. Some firefights in mid, trying to get ground as well as clam. 1 minute, almost a minute left remaining, and still neither team has really found an opening to open the basket again. I say that now Cacahuetes are going almost a wipeout right here, and so this could be Big Monkey Man's chance to move in and start getting that lead right back.
Yes, indeed. And yet again, all it took was 1 power clam to get lead, but they've already put in way more than either team has put it on a single push so far. It's unfortunate that that player was forced off the edge, but it happens.
You'll see, going to be back to spawn either way. It's just a matter of dignity at that point. But we do see Cacahuetes, they're already moving in to retake the mid there, getting so much paint down, and they have several clamps as well as that power clam that got dropped from their basket. So now they just gotta find a way to get in as we get into the last 20 seconds of this match. It's getting down to the wire here.
Yes, it is. And that player, they're not quite able to get that charger before they're able to jump higher. But that whole kind of push there did work well in their favor, because that meant that Cacahuetes had to go back to their spawn to try and get them out, and there wasn't the time for that. And then almost immediately they're back in and they're pushing. So Cacahuetes yet again had some times there where it was very, very even. They even made the first push, but they weren't able to keep up that aggression and to keep Big Monkey Man even out of their from pushing. It's
Yeah,
very unfortunate, but yeah.
they had the aggression to get those baskets open, but they just didn't have the staying power to keep it open. You know, they would throw in the power clam. I think during that second push, they were able to get a couple more clams in, but Big Monkey Band, they came back from spawn and shut it down almost immediately. And then when they came back for their own pushes, they kept it open for a good deal longer. And I think right at the end there, they got 2 pushes in the row, and that just solidified their victory.
Yes, it did. And that will mean that it's currently 3-0 to Big Monkey Man. Cacahuetes really needs to... just doesn't seem like they're quite finding their footing in each of these matches. Like, they do start close, and some of them even end pretty close, but they're just not quite getting, like, for example, as you were saying, like, having the staying power in those pushes, being able to hold the zone for long enough, get the pushes in Rainmaker that they need. It's just not quite enough so far. But that, it's still, we could still see a completely different game here from them. That's entirely possible. And we are going into tower control on Eeltail Alley, which is different from what we've been seeing so far. So maybe tower control is more their die.
I could definitely see Cacahuetes this being their match because of the nature of this map mode. If they can get that early push going, they could really snowball it into a solid victory. Well, that being said though, Big Monkey Man, they've opted to swap off the E-Leader for this one. A very interesting choice, as it does have, the E-Leader has a lot of pressure on this map just because of the high rise and just the narrow paths. It doesn't allow for much flanking.
Yes, indeed, which is an interesting choice, but also if you go all out aggression, that can work very well in your favor, as we're already seeing from Big Monkey Man. They've already got the push going. They had that early man advantage there, so this is already looking good, but it does seem like a number of them are going down, so they're not going to be able to continue that push past 68 quite yet. But yet again, this is on Cacahuetes to see if they're able to get a push in response. But already it's one down on each side, so this will depend on if either can get a bit of a man advantage and actually keep it for long enough.
Yeah, that was a good play by Cacahuetes to really shut down on that push early. You know, the first checkpoint is a given, it's just so close to mid, but getting that second checkpoint is the big moneymaker right there. If you can get that, it's going to be a lot easier to hold on to that lead, as it is such a hard checkpoint to get. And as you see right here, Cacahuetes, they take the lead, but they're unfortunately lose most of their members and are not able to get the checkpoint. The E-Leader is still alive though, that might deter them from pushing real far, but their team is going to have to come back quickly with the way that Big Monkey Man's aggression has been going.
Yes, indeed. It certainly seems like they are playing very differently, these two teams, from each other now. They started in the same kind of place, but have, especially with the lack of that E-Leader on this side of Big Monkey Man, are committing to two different styles of play as a team. So it just depends if they're going to be able to, Cacahuetes will be able to keep that pushing power, and if Big Monkey Man doesn't get the opportunity to do what they're doing right now and take out multiple members of Cacahuetes almost for free here, not getting trades, but actually just getting straight kills. So this is not looking ideal right now. E-Leader's trying to find somewhere, some perch to where they can see the tower, but also not be massively at risk. But still, Big Monkey Man just continuing the push, about to get lead. But with three members down, I don't think it's going to go any further than that.
Yeah, Big Monkey Man, they have the potential to really just snowball us into the KO, but with the E-Leader staying alive for so long, that is just stalling them out so much. And now, because of that wipeout, Cacahuetes has a chance to make a comeback here. They unfortunately don't see these member on the top here, and that's going to be taking down both the E-Leader and the Junior. Pretty much essential for a hold on to this checkpoint. So Big Monkey Man, they're going to be holding on to this lead for a little bit longer.
Yes, indeed. And again, it's not like the lead. They're only Big Monkey Man only has a lead by 2 right now. That is not definitely gonna stay that way. So either team, both teams, need to get pushes going. But it does not look like Cacahuetes is gonna be the one to get another push. Not after 3 going down. Right there.
We do see
Big
Monkey
Man. Oh, did I say the wrong way around? Cacahuetes will not be able to make that push. But Big Monkey Man, well, they seem to be well on their way.
We do see this. The Zimmy there was able to get the bubbler up before the E-Leader could take them down, and now they have taken down 3 of the members, including the E-Leader, so that's going to be a lot of their defensive power already gone as Big Monkey Man takes the second checkpoint. This is not looking good for Cacahuetes because now that Big Monkey Man has some steam going, they have that momentum, it's going to be difficult to stop them and nonetheless come back from that as well.
Yes, indeed. And Big Monkey Man still just trying to get through this 3rd checkpoint and is just able to. It does not look likely that Cacahuetes is going to have the time to get on that tower or even stop them from getting the KO, as it seems. So, yet again, that started as we've been seeing these matches start. Very back and forth. But then Big Monkey Man just keeps on that aggression, keeps pushing. Until eventually they kind of break Cacahuetes' line enough to be able to just like steamroll through, as it seems to be. So we're gonna be on to map 5 though.
They had they were able to get the KO with only a couple of seconds remaining, but either way, Big Monkey Man coming out on top with such a good push right at the end there. You know, Cacahuetes, they were able to stall them off for a good chunk of that match, but then once Big Monkey Man got the tower rolling, it was difficult for Cacahuetes to really come back from that, and I think Cacahuetes weren't able to bring a good push of their own. Like, they were stuck on that second checkpoint for a good while, and Big Monkey Man, even without a backline, were able to position themselves very well. We did see the splash on that top right several times, and were able to just pick them off the tower one by one. So Cacahuetes were just not able to find their footing once again, and now we are on match point for Big Monkey Man.
A match point will be Rainmaker on Museum. So very much it's interesting to come back to Rainmaker now at this match point, and to see if either team, if we see a similar Rainmaker match as we saw at the very beginning. We have been seeing, yet again, back and forth kind of games, but maybe after these past 4 games, Big Monkey Man might start a bit stronger, or maybe Cacahuetes might come out swinging. It could be a very different kind of match than the one we saw at the beginning, but I'm not so sure I find that likely after the games we've been seeing so far.
We definitely have a quite different map from the first one. You know, Museum tends to be a lot more open spaces than Mincemeat does. There's a little bit more opportunity to move around, some more avenues to take. However, it is still Rainmaker. I could see Cacahuetes taking this, but with what Big Monkey Man has been bringing to the table, it is going to be incredibly difficult, especially since we're going to be seeing another backline this comp, and the double splash has been exceptionally strong today.
Yes, indeed. And what a surprise, we have a sloshing machine for the first time. So very interesting, but yet again, similar enough to the past couple of matches in the sense of the 2 splashes and Junior on the side of Cacahuetes, etc. But already it does seem like Big Monkey Man are starting with mid and starting with the man advantage here to go down for Cacahuetes, but almost immediately there Cacahuetes is able to take down 2 as well and try and make their way back into mid. So it just depends on if they're able to do anything with this. They need to, well, someone needs to start pushing a Rainmaker at some point. But it just depends on which team is going to be able to. Looking like Cacahuetes might be able to, but they have not picked it up yet, and that is 1 down on the side of Cacahuetes. So that doesn't make it look anywhere near as likely.
Yeah, I think as soon as we see more than 1 or 2 members go down, is going to be an instant shift to forward aggression. Because right now, both teams are just losing 1 or 2 members at a time, and still, it's been so even so far. We do see 2 members of Big Monkey Man go down, and the junior as well, the Rainmaker carrier. So yeah, it's just so even right now. There hasn't been a good opening for either teams to really push it and get substantial points. We'll have to see if that's going to be changing. We're already almost halfway through this match. This might be the opportunity they need as the charger goes down.
Yes, indeed. Did seem like they weren't able to get the jump across there. That might have sped that along a little bit. But already the first checkpoint. This is immediately a different match from the one we were just seeing. But that's what it takes. It takes just having a couple more people down to be able to make that push, and they're still here. Big Monkey Man's still here, trying to get as much out of this push as possible. Already, well, now to 50. Can't really say already when we're 2.5 minutes in, but Cacahuetes here really need to get this back in the mid and start progressing towards their own goal, but it doesn't look too likely.
Yeah, we're seeing another stall out, but this time the Rainmaker has been pushed back into Big Monkey Man's base. Cacahuetes' base. So Big Monkey Man, they're really pushing this advantage that they have right now. They're making sure that Cacahuetes doesn't have an opening to get back out, but they're not going to be able to really push it for points just yet. Not until they get several members down. I think that charger is going to be one of the more crucial ones.
Yes, indeed. That is what we've been seeing a lot of today, and that charger is what makes it so that Cacahuetes can actually have time to be able to get back in. But that Rainmaker, very, very good for them to be able to stay alive there. But I do not believe that anyone, never mind, I was going to say, has noticed that splash, but they are able to turn around and see them and able to get them out, because otherwise that would really not have worked very well with that push that they're trying to get going here. But this should be, that should be checkpoint and maybe lead after 3 people on the side of Big Monkey Man going down. That's a push to 22. Goodness.
This is an excellent lead for Cacahuetes right here, and the play by the charger, able to fire off that Inkfact shot, protecting the Rainmaker dunk, and then with it just a slosher player up on that right side, protecting it from the other side. That was such a good push right there. The 3 members of Big Monkey Man down was what Cacahuetes needed, and so now they can, with the last 30 seconds remaining, as long as they can stay alive, they can hold this lead for the rest of this match.
Yes. We say that, but that's already 2 people down on the side of Cacahuetes. Big Monkey Man will take any opportunity to get this lead back, but it's just going to be dependent on if they get that opportunity. And Cacahuetes are certainly trying to stop that, but the question is, are they going to be able to when we're in overtime?
2 members of Big Monkey Man down, 1 more jumping back in, the Booyah Bomb gets popped, and the charger is still alive. I think they popped their Inkfact as well. The Rainmaker is backed up here, and they're getting just suppressed by all of this bonfire. Charger and the splash goes down. That's 3 down, only the junior remaining, and they are in a corner right now. This not looking good for Cacahuetes. Still 30 seconds on the Rainmaker timer. They have plenty of time to get this lead. Get us just that down. A wipeout, but the Rainmaker falls.
Oh my goodness, that fall might and did lose
Wow.
them the match. Oh my goodness.
Big Monkey Man, complete wipe on Cacahuetes, had such a good opportunity there, but unfortunately the Rainmaker misstepped and fell down the side, allowing the members of Cacahuetes to respawn, and just the one was able to slip through the defenses to take down the Rainmaker before they could take that lead back. So now Cacahuetes is going to be taking a match off of Big Monkey Man.
Yes, indeed. This is... You would think, even just, I don't even within the last minute or so, you'd say that Big Monkey Man probably were thinking they had that match in the bag. And then after that push from Cacahuetes, they're like, okay, we can still get this back. And they almost did. But all it takes is one little slip up. You know, timing is very, very important here, especially when you get that wipeout, because as soon as you have that respawn timer, as soon as that's up, you have everyone on that other team back in your face looking to try and stop that Rainmaker. That is the time that you have to get that push. And that fall back into mid wasted all of that respawn timer. So that was just unfortunate for Big Monkey Man, but does mean we get to see a map 6 here, so which I do believe is Brinewater Springs and Splat Zones.
Yes, that was quite unfortunate for Big Monkey Man, but they are still sitting pretty at 4 up. They have that match point for this next game. Cacahuetes, they're definitely feeling good after that one. It was such a clutch play right there, capitalizing off of the Big Monkey Man's mistake. So they do have 4 more matches to go to take this set, but now they have a little bit of steam in their tank to make a comeback here.
Yes, indeed. They know that they can beat Big Monkey Man, but it's just gonna see. They might be able to pull this back. They might be able to push it to a match point of their own, but they have quite a journey to go to get to that point. And with, as you're saying, with Big Monkey Man only needing 1 more win to finish out this set, they've got a lot riding on this. So,
and it's going to be on Brinewater Springs as well, one of the newer maps. So neither team really has as much experience with it as some of the other maps that have been out. But Zones is definitely, yeah, I see both teams rocking the E-Leader once again. It is going to be a map mode you want to have a backline on. There's just so much open area around the zone.
You need that kind of the possibility of being able to hit the other E-Leader as well across the map. But already Big Monkey Man first out with capping the zone, but also I do believe first to lose a player. But already, ooh, this is going a bit wild in mid here. People just seeming to trade all over the place, but the slot machine is able to get the zone capped, but not quite able to find the kill they needed. But Cacahuetes still working on that timer there. They're already below 60. Just getting through those points before Big Monkey Man can get that zone back. But that will be the zone back in the hands of Big Monkey Man after 3 go down on the side of Cacahuetes. But it all depends on how long they keep it.
Yeah, Cacahuetes were able to hold on that zone for a good while, but they just weren't able to push up and lock out Big Monkey Man. And so the Big Monkey Man, they've come back. They don't have the lead just yet, and Cacahuetes do take that zone right back, but they are doing exceptionally well. They've been getting several picks off of Big Monkey Man and still have had the members to keep that zone. This is slowly turning in their favor. This is not what we've seen in the previous match. I think that little bit of steam has definitely pushed them on their way. 2 more members of the Big Monkey Man are down once again, and this bucket is going to be moving up, just trying to lock them out.
Yes, indeed. But that is 2 players down for the price of 1 there. And it does look like Big Monkey Man's going to be able to get back into mid. going to be able to take that trade there and try and get the zone back from Cacahuetes. But, as per usual, depends how long they can keep it.
They did lose the zone and have a hefty penalty to go with it, but taking 3 members of Big Monkey Man down, they're going to be getting that zone right back. They are, again, they're doing such a good job of staying alive and coming back. They're winning the fights that they need to win. The E-leader going down to the crab tank was huge right there, because that's going to stall them or keep them from getting out into the zone even longer. And now the splash goes down. The Inkzuka goes down. That is 3 members down. It is slowly running away from Big Monkey Man here, and Cacahuetes is so up in their base.
Yes, this is very different from what we've been seeing so far in these matches today. This really does seem like Big Monkey Man has lost a lot of steam here. Oh my goodness!
Oh wow.
I
honestly, well,
don't know what to say.
That's going to be a KO for Cacahuetes. I am not sure if that was just the spectator lag or some wonkiness was happening, but either way, Cacahuetes, they're bringing it back. That's going to be their second win here on Brinewater Springs zones.
Yes, indeed. They're already starting on that long climb, as we were talking about, back towards getting to a game 9 and a match point of their own. Though they do still have, to win every single game in this set if they are going to be able to take this from Big Monkey Man. But reverse sweeps do happen, they do occur, so we're gonna have to see what happens on Clam, Blitz, Inkblot.
Numerically, it's just 3 more matches. They could definitely bring this back, but just the mental games that are going on here. Big Monkey Man, they still only need the 1 more, while Cacahuetes is on they're the underdogs. They have to win these next couple of matches to stay in the running. It's difficult, but we love to see a reverse sweep. We love to see an underdog story, and so we're excited to see this taken all the way to a game 9.
Yes, and we are also excited to see such a different game from the ones we've been seeing before. That was not the Big Monkey Man that we've been seeing in the 5 matches previously. It just seemed like they just were slowly falling apart that game. I'm just not even quite sure what happened. They just could not get their footing. They could not get mid. They just kept dying when at crucial points there. Just was not what we've been seeing so far.
Well, to their credit, it is, like I said, it is a new map. And I think whichever team had the more experience or just were a bit more comfortable with it, definitely played in their favor. But this next one, Inkblot Clams, is a tried and true, even up from Splatoon 2. So both the teams are going to be quite familiar with this. Last time, Big Monkey Man took the Clams game, but Cacahuetes has such a good early start. They got the several early pushes in. It just Big Monkey Man, they had, I guess, the pushes in a row right at the end. So we'll have to see if this is going to be their last match, or is Cacahuetes going to learn from the last one and be able to play off of what they learned from the last Clams match.
Yes, indeed. It will just depend on, as you were saying, if Cacahuetes is able to learn a bit more from that Clams match and able to apply it in this Inkblot one. Inkblot itself as a map is for Clams, it's a very short journey from mid to the basket. So it can be quite easy to slip in and chuck in a power clam, but also with the raised area around the court there, it can be can be somewhat difficult to stay. Once the team is that you're pushing against is back and able to have high ground on you. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any kind of longer pushes, or if they are very back and forth, putting a power clam, putting a power clam, putting a power clam, kind of.
Yes, having this smaller map is perfect for honestly both styles of comps that we've been seeing here, with and without the backline. You know, the Eeltail has a lot of reach here, but at the same time, with especially if that is clams, we could see them either team going the backline list. We have seen the Flingsman come out for both sides whenever they opted for that. We'll just have to see what each of these teams are most comfortable with. But having the smaller map is certainly a big change from the Scorch Gorge match we saw with Clam before. So we'll have to see if this will play into Kaku's favor, or will Big Monkey Man be closing this out.
Yes, indeed. And I'd imagine we'd still be seeing very similar. I would imagine that Big Monkey Man would be bringing back that Flingza, because missile spam plus extra paint does seem to be how they like to play clams, and it seems like it really works for them. So I would imagine they would definitely have that Flingza back for Inkblot and Clam specific. But
yeah, I agree with you there. And I think you can also expect to see the double splash making a return. The crab tank is, like, the Eeltail has a lot of reason. The crab tank is such a dominant force, especially if you can get it onto one of those stacks. Complete visibility of the plat is going to be a good tool to use for making pushes.
Very much so. Well, in the current meta, crabs do be quite dominant for good reason. And especially like Inkblot suits crab tanks, as you're saying, very, very well with its raised platforms, and your areas that you can just see from mid and still be able to reach a crab.
Not to mention that the splash itself, you know, with the burst bomb and just its mobility that it has, it can definitely skirt around and take fights in these more cramped spaces a lot better than some of the other weapons can. Now, here's the question: is we have seen a junior come out, but we also have seen, especially in that last match, that with the double splash, we also had the splatter shot with the Inksuka. I am curious to see whether they opt for a bubbler pick or if they'll be bringing back that Inksuka weapon.
Yes, both could work, but having that bubbler gives you just that little bit of more staying power on Clamlet, so I'd imagine that they would take the junior, but they might just go all aggression. You know, it's completely viable and definitely something they seem to have been nudging towards on a lot of the other maps we've been looking at, map mode specifically. So yeah, I could see either way, but I would say they'd probably lean more towards having just that little bit of extra staying power with the bubbler. But
we've also seen Cacahuetes favor some sort of bucket weapon. For a long time it was the vanilla and deco bucket, but we did see the machine come out in the last two matches. That seems to really have played in their favor, as was with the two matches they were able to win. Having that Booyah Bomb is another, like, it's a short special. It has a large area, but it's also good for just keeping the basket clear as you're trying to get clams in.
It truly is, and being able to cloud the vision and obviously make a charger move is very, very helpful for using a Booyah. But yes, and also sloshing machines do have the nice like, just in general, they're very nice for poking on top of ledges, which very much applies to Inkblot, as we're talking about. So just poking people on top by the basket, and even just further back into their spawn, can be very helpful. So I'd imagine we would be seeing that slushing machine coming back. But
And then the fizzy bomb on top of that.
Yep. Fizzy bomb, just chuck it at the enemy. just keep chucking it at the enemy. Works so well. As bombs go, it does serve multiple purposes, and does them quite well.
Well, we are currently waiting for the rest of the members to get into the lobby. We saw right at the end of that match that there was some funky network business going on. So right now, I think the members are just reorienting themselves and getting back together. We're just waiting for the lobby to fill back up, and then we'll be getting into this last match.
Well, possibly last match. Who knows? Depends.
You're right.
What happens.
I missed it. I don't want to jinx it just yet.
Yes, indeed. Yet again, as casters, we always want to see all the matches you could possibly give us. So,
absolutely.
I'm up for a game 9. I'm always up for a game 9.
Cacahuetes, we're counting on you. No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever, but don't lose. Want to see game 9. Want to see Flounder Rainmaker. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh yes, Flounder Rainmaker. Rainmaker is not my forte. It is not my cup of tea as far as modes go. But I am happy to be able to watch and not have to play it. And in the Flounder Heights, I have not seen a whole lot of action on there, so I am definitely excited to be seeing that.
Yes. Same with Brinewater Springs. It is nice to be seeing the new maps already in rotation and being able to see what different teams are deciding to do with them. It's always so interesting to see what teams are bringing to the table with new maps before it's all kind of figured out. You know what I mean? Because you know the best way to push, for example, a Rainmaker on Inkblot, right? We all know the best way to push Rainmaker and Inkblot, but maybe there's a more interesting way to push Rainmaker on Flounder Heights than everybody thinks of immediately. You know, you'd love to see like new strats and new ideas as they are kind of being figured out in the community. It is. And especially in tournament settings, because then it's all on the line as well, and you're just like, you don't expect it, and suddenly there's a different path that worked really well for this team on Rainmaker, and I was like, oh, we should try that. So it's just fun. New maps, love them. It's just fun to figure out. But then we also do sometimes have to figure out when maps are so bad. Like, what did you do to Mahi? Nintendo, why?
Oh, poor Mahi.
Yeah.
But that does, like, as you said, figuring out with these new maps, with these new iterations of maps, the recon feature is such a useful tool for that. The ability to go in at any point and just explore the map for an hour. You could find these more interesting opportunities, the more, I guess, efficient ways to carry the Rainmaker to push up. It's not something we've necessarily had before, but it is good to be able to have that, even if we have lost some of the fun that is on some of these maps, such as Mahi Mahi.
Oh, it does look like we are going to be right back. I do believe... Okay, never mind. We're not going to be right back. I don't know what is going on exactly, but we are sorting probably what's happening with the teams right now. But what were we saying? Yes, new maps are just... It's just good to see everything kind of evolve, like, right at the start. Because you get to the end of the game, like Splatoon 2, and nothing changes, and everything's just like, we're not getting any new weapons or maps or modes or anything. It's just missiles and armor forever. And at that point, it is kind of obvious why it kind of becomes a bit stale. But I love when it's at the beginning of a new game and we're still getting new updates, we're still getting new content, and the meta can shift so easily. And you can find lots of different ways to play maps, modes, weapons. I love it. I love also just seeing it from the perspective of someone who's not actually actively being like, we need to find the best way to do this. I'm just like being a commentator sitting back being like, ah, that's cool. Well done. That looks amazing. And not having to be like, how did they do that? We need to figure out how that works. You know, it's quite nice.
And something else I've been noticing, and I think it's been talked about, rather than, or I guess with the new maps and all that, a lot of members have been going for instead of having like just one main for everything. You know, we still have those really meta picks. You have the Splash, the Bucket, or I mean the Sloshing Machine is the E-Leader. But a lot of teams are going for more map-specific picks as far as their weapon goes. They're branching out. They're having a more collection of weapons for different scenarios rather than having a one solution fits all kind of deal. And I think that's very interesting to see because there's a lot of maps where you just don't want to play your weapon you would normally play just because it doesn't fit well with the competitive scene.
Yes, indeed. I completely agree. It is nice to be able to expect, look at certain things and expect, there's probably going to be a Splash on a team, and there's likely to be an E-Leader if they have a sniper player. But also being able to be like, okay, but what else? What else are we going to see? Are they going to go for missile spam? Because that's always an option. Are they going to be, like, I've seen a lot of, like, Splat roller comps around that have been working quite well for people, or we've got stringers instead of snipers as the backline can also work really well, making people move. But because there's so much variety in weapons and the ways that you can build a comp, like, given there's always been variety, but especially with, like, the sheer number of specials we have in this game, you can build a comp around a lot of different things as long as you have, a couple cores, probably a crab, probably a backline, and probably some form of paint. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think as you were saying before, we're still in the early game. I think this is held especially true for the last season where we only had the one variation of every single weapon. But now, as we're starting to get into these updates where we're having more weapons added, I think we are going to see a little bit more diversity, some different and more unique picks. We already been seeing like the Zimmy, the Custom Junior, and some of the other new weapons getting used more regularly. Just they weren't available before. So now, as we have more options, it is going to, I guess, spice up some of the comps and the future matches.
It will indeed. And it does actually look here like we are going to be getting into this match. We have been waiting a little bit for it. We have done a bit of speculation. But we're actually going to see what each team is going to bring. And I was not expecting that. There's an Explosion.
An Explo is a good pick for Inkblot, but you don't normally see it for Clam Blitz. It tends to be a pick for Splat zones, and with these Explosion, they do have that deco regular Slosher coming out, so it's going to be a double bucket comp, and of course we do see the double splash on the side of Big Monkey Man. But neither team, well, I guess the Expo, we got the Expo for our backline, but no E-Leaders in sight.
Yeah, no E-Leaders, and that does not look like it's not starting well for Cacahuetes here. They already have been pushed off of their plat back into their spawn here. They're gonna have to be careful. Big Monkey Man have already pushed to 44. This is not ideal. And already there's one down on the side of Cacahuetes, and they're able to push Big Monkey Man back into mid and kind of back towards their plat. But that does not mean that they're out of the woods yet. They do not have too many clams right now, and also Big Monkey Man, they've still got enough players pushing into mid to make that a problem.
We see the Zipcaster coming out. They're just trying to find a pick or two to open it up. I think they're going for that flanker player who has their missiles online, but unfortunately they don't get anything from that. And now the crab tank getting popped The Slaughter goes down, the Junior goes down, and now Big Monkey Man is already moving again for their second push, and Cacahuetes hasn't been able to really make a play from it.
Yes, yes, this is not ideal. They do need to be a little bit more aggressive, but also as soon as they do start to push back into mid, immediately the bucket goes down and someone flanks the Explo. So this is not what they need. They can't lose this game, or else that will be the end of the set for both teams. So Cacahuetes here is just trying to find their footing, but I think probably the break we had there is not helping their momentum that they had, and it does look like they might have lost it a little bit. But that does not mean there's still, 2.5 minutes left in this game, and if they're able to take out the players of Big Monkey Man and stop them from doing much with those power clams, then they might be able to turn the tides. 44 is a lot, but not like, it's not hard to get there with a good number of power clams and just keeping people on the other team dead.
Yeah, Big Monkey Man, they certainly have quite amount of power clams, but the Cacahuetes have been able to keep them out, not allowing them to open that up. But we do see one power clam going in for Big Monkey Man, losing 2 of their members in the process. They are not going to be able to get that other power clam in. It was a good start of a push, but Cacahuetes were able to hold on to that, and now that they have a second power clam dropped from that basket, they are in a definitely a good position to make the win, but they have to have an opening. They have to find a way to get past Big Monkey Man's defenses, and so far they have been nigh impenetrable.
Yep, yes indeed. They're just not able to find their footing and able to find the kills that they need. The Slosher is able to take one down, but it does not look like they're going to be able to do anything else with that. And the other power clam, Cacahuetes did lose it during that, which is not ideal. Yep, the 2 people went down on the side for Cacahuetes. There is still also that Flings that was down as well, but it does look like Big Monkey Man is going to be able to at least get onto the Splat and make Big Monkey Man's life, or make Cacahuetes' life a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Big Monkey Man, they've pretty much been everywhere on this map. They've been winning a lot of their fights. The crab tank, as we mentioned before, on that stack is just so strong. It's just Cacahuetes not able to really make a play happen. There's just so much orange paint right now. And then Big Monkey Man have been all over the place, just shutting them down before they can even get started. Last 20 seconds remaining, and Cacahuetes have yet to even put one power climb in.
Yep, it does look like it's possible that it's going to happen now, but this is looking, even if they get this push, it's looking far too too late. They don't have that much time right now. They need to, they do get the basket, but already that's a wipe. That's not what you needed, and that will be game. There is no way that Cacahuetes is going to get anywhere near that basket again.
And we see the final drip pick taken right there. Big Monkey Man closing out the set with this win. I would say such a pretty dominant performance there. Cacahuetes were able to pull something together at the end, but they weren't able to get the lead off it and just wiped out. So I think, I don't know, it's Big Monkey Man, they found what they were missing in the last 2 matches. They were the ones that I think learned from their last Clans match and really capitalize off the close quarters combat, having those missiles, and then going up against the Explo. They had the upper hand for most of that.
Yes, they did. And even just stopping that Explo from really getting too comfortable, even on Cacahuetes' Splat, like they Big Monkey Man were just everywhere that match. Picking fights and winning them was really what gave them that momentum to just keep pushing against Cacahuetes, keep making their lives difficult, and keep kind of pushing to put clams in. But even though they didn't get that many pushes where they actually got points on the board. They didn't need to, because that was enough to keep Cacahuetes far too busy to get any pushes of their own until the very end of that match.
Yeah, it wasn't the quantity of the picks of the cup, but it's just the quality. They had the right picks that they needed at the right time. And they shut down everything before that Kaku's had before it even happened. That being said, Kaku's they got the 2 matches. It wasn't a complete shutdown, and they had some really close ones, especially in these very early matches. It could have gone either way. It just, big man, they had what they needed to come out on top, and they will be taking this set for this week.
Yes, indeed. But well played on both sides there. Very much both teams played exceptionally well, and that was a Div 2 set. I definitely was a Div 2 set with the back and forth, especially of the early games, the comeback that we had from Cacahuetes, and just Big Monkey Man's domination of that last match specifically was quite nice to watch. But I do believe we're gonna be raiding IPL. I think we're raiding IPL after this. So stick around for some more Splatoon, but just from IPL this time. And thank you everyone, production as usual. Majora, behind the camera doing all the stream stuff. Very much appreciated. You keep this running. We just talk.
Yeah, we sit here, we waffle on. But as we do wrap up, where can the good people find you?
Well, they can find me on @SPL Zarani on Twitter and Zarani on Twitch. I play Splatoon and other things. And what about you, Ahmed?
Well, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at IMedGamerII. I also do quite a bit of Splatoon content with a little bit of variety on the side. It's been fun. I'm trying to get back in X rank. It is what it is. But we will be raiding Inkling Performance Labs. They are currently in their 2nd day of flowing, so you definitely don't want to miss that. It's going to be some good action going over there. But thank you all for hanging out with us.
Yes, this was so much fun. I really appreciate it, by the way. Commentating with you, Irma, that was a lot of fun to do. And just these matches have been great. Very back and forth, as we've been talking about. And just well played to both of the teams there.
Yes, it was an absolute pleasure.
So anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I suppose go watch some more Splatoon over on Loink, as that definitely, those will be some good matches. Anyway, thank you everyone!